Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. How are y'all doing this Tuesday? Make sure you smash that like button on your way in here. Smash that like, smash that like. How are y'all doing? So today we are going to discuss the FBI files. FBI files on Shanquella. Now this is actually the second release. And if you kept up with the petition, you know that I actually sent this out a while back. I think it was maybe March. I think around March or around that time, I already sent this out. So some of you already went over this information, uh, you know, because it has been out since March, but I'm just now reviewing it. Okay. So let's go ahead and discuss the FBI files of what occurred. Just a second. So most of you know that Shanquella Robinson, was a 25-year-old Black woman who was unalived in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico in October of 2022. And today we are reviewing the FBI's FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, released line by line, who was told what, when, and how the government responded or did not respond. And let's just go through it carefully and completely. Now, I want to actually inform you all that this is heavily redacted. When I say redacted, it is really redacted. So there's not going to be a lot of information in this release. The FBI released this file in response to public demand for accountability in the death of Shanquella Robinson. And I believe they released it because they were being sued and pressure was put on them to release some information. Okay. So this document is part of a FOIA request. FOIA is a Freedom of Information Act, and PA is Privacy Act. Okay. This request sought all investigative records from the Charlotte field office, which handled incoming tips about Shanquella's death. The file we received is not a full case file. It is partially redacted, and it's a summary of internal activity, tips, interviews, and decisions, much of which is still classified or protected. Now, I believe, if they're not releasing all information, that means, in my opinion, the doors are not completely shut on this investigation. Again, a lot of times, sometimes they do this to protect victims and witnesses, and sometimes it's because they are still actually, keeping the doors open of a possible something could happen in the future. So, and I'm not saying that the case is open. I'm saying that it's still like keeping the doors open just in case new information comes in, and you probably don't want to show all the information, all the details. The first thing we see is going through these documents, we're going to see a lot of deleted page information sheets. And it's about a total of about, to be honest, it's a lot of deleted pages. And most of the pages in the file were withheld under standard FOIA exemptions. For example, when it says B5, that means internal government deliberations. When it says B6, it's been withheld or redacted because of personal privacy information such as names or addresses, etc. And if it says B7C, it's being withheld or redacted because law enforcement files feel that it could invade personal privacy. And then if it says code B7E, a lot of times that is law enforcement techniques and procedures, and that's why it's being redacted. And again, these do not confirm wrongdoing, but they do suggest a lot has happened behind the scenes. Investigative processes are still being shielded from public view. Again, a lot of the investigation is still being held and held from the public and shielded from public view. And this suggests that the case might still be, I'm not saying 100% active. Now, I'm not saying 100% shut. I'm still saying, as they even said before, that they're still open for new information. So it's not 100% shut, like, hey, you got away with it. if new information could roll in, then, that's what I think. And again, that's just my opinion, based on their actual statement from before, when they actually said they were not going to arrest anyone at that time. So the most revealing portion of the file begins with a report from a walk-in witness to the FBI Charlotte field office on November 19, 2022. And that was roughly about 3 weeks after Shanquella passed away. And by, let me clarify, was unalived. This individual told agents that Shanquella traveled with 6 individuals to Cabo, which we know. And remember, this is the FBI file, so this is just one of information that a lot of us already know, okay? Some we don't know. A viral video showed her being assaulted by a woman. So this is what the individual walked into this office and told the FBI Charlotte field office, November 19, 2022. And one of the travel companions, and it redacted the name, called Shanquella's mother and claimed she died of alcohol poisoning. The witness also provided names of those on the trip and redacted, we already know the Cabo 6, links to social media accounts, a copy of the death certificate, a translated autopsy report from Mexico. This walk-in initiated the U.S. side investigation. The FBI followed up. And according to the documents, FBI agents reviewed the video showing Shanquella being assaulted. They accessed publicly available information, including like the social media pages. And I think everybody at that time was looking at the social media pages. They acknowledged that Shanquella's death occurred in Mexico, which may limit U.S. jurisdiction. Now, what I will say is, yes, it could limit, U.S. jurisdiction. However, Mexico did say, hey, extradite her back to Mexico, and we have a warrant waiting for her. So I'm still puzzled, to be honest, as to why the United States never extradited Desjanée Jackson back to Mexico and let her be, tried there. That's puzzling, which is why I said I'm going to make some phone calls this week, and I want everyone to start emailing again, because now that Desjanée Jackson has responded to the actual wrongful death lawsuit, this could shake things up a little bit as far as waking up this case. Who knows? I mean, it's worth a shot and it's worth a try. Why not? It doesn't hurt to try something, right? Even if it fails, you can at least say, hey, at least I tried something. An assistant United States attorney, which acronym is AUSA. If you follow the Diddy trial, we kept hearing AUSA. So by now, everyone should know that means Assistant United States Attorney. So when I say AUSA, that's what I'm referring to. AUSA was consulted. That means the FBI did move this information up the chain. However, the outcome of that consultation is redacted. This shows the FBI did engage in early fact-finding, but what they did next remains hidden. The walk-in stated that friends of Shanquella claimed to her family she died from alcohol poisoning, but the autopsy from Mexico listed spinal cord injury and neck instability, and that's when everyone kept saying Atlas luxation. And I also had, hired someone, a forensic expert to come on my channel to analyze the autopsy report, right? There was a clear contradiction in accounts. And by the way, what I mean by that is not the United States one, but the one from Mexico. There was a clear contradiction in the accounts, of course, of what the autopsy showed and what the fake friend showed. According to the FBI's own notes, a video circulated of Shanquella being assaulted in the bedroom. The attacker appeared to be a woman, which we already know, Desjanée Jackson, be a woman. Shanquella did not fight back. The FBI also noted discrepancies between what companions told U.S. authorities and what the Mexican police and autopsy confirmed. So the FBI noted these discrepancies. This mismatch raised serious red flags, but again, how the U.S. authorities resolve those contradictions is redacted. So a lot of this stuff is heavily redacted. And then it goes on, who is mentioned and protected? Everyone's name except Shanquella's is redacted. That includes the travel companions. So everyone's name is redacted, including the Cabo Six. The only names that are not redacted is Shanquella. And sometimes they do this during investigations when someone has not been found guilty yet, and you want to say, well, they haven't not been found guilty, so we're not going to put their names out there. But to be honest, everyone knows the Cabo Six by now, so their names are out there. We all know that Desjanae Jackson has since changed her name to Imani Green. The walking witness name is redacted. The assistant U.S. attorney, even that name is redacted. This aligns with the B6 and B7C exemptions that I mentioned earlier, which protect personal privacy. So a lot of redactions are going to fall under that category codes of personal privacy as to why it's redacted. So you might say, does this mean that no one was investigated? No, no, it does not mean that. And does it mean that they were clear? Also, no, it does not mean that they were clear. It simply means that nothing conclusive has been made public yet. And so we're going to go into more about Cabo. So the FBI references that the death happened in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. That fact limits how much the U.S. can do legally. They know jurisdiction challenges include that, of course, that the crime occurred abroad, right? And that Mexican authorities would have primary jurisdiction. So I don't know why they keep on bringing this up when you could just extradite her back to Mexico. And at the time when I was covering it, Mexico would have to submit certain extradition papers to the United States. And then from there, the United States would have to go through certain procedures to then extradite her. And I'm like, what's the hold up? Why wasn't there extradition? I'm still like confused on that whole aspect. U.S. can only prosecute if a federal statute applies or if a U.S. citizen is killed under specific conditions, which we understand. Despite that, the FBI still opened a review which shows the public pressure matters. So again, public pressure matters. That's why it doesn't hurt or harm anything if public pressure is applied under these situations or in these cases, which is why I said, okay, hold on, turn this off. Which is why I said that we should still try once again, just while we have this lawsuit going, to see what Mexico can probably do as far as extradition. Because even now, Mexico is being silent on this. Not just the FBI, but Mexico. Why aren't they pushing for extradition? Like, why aren't they like going, hey, extradite her? They're not really taking it like a serious case of like extradition. So in my opinion, even more pressure probably needs to be applied to Mexico, especially now that we have this document from Desjanae in her answering the wrongful death lawsuit and claiming self-defense. So, I want to know, is Mexico following this case? Do they understand that she has this whole document claiming self-defense and what she wrote in this document? So yeah, so we're all going to be emailing that over to Mexico so they can, maybe shake things up a little bit. So again, I'm going to go over the report so you can see it. Don't worry, it's small right now, but I'm actually going to enlarge it. So again, it's heavily redacted. So don't get like, oh my gosh, we got the full document. It's heavily redacted. FOIA does not allow a release of active investigation files. And I know you say, well, isn't it closed? Well, I would think it would be closed because it doesn't seem like it's active, but since they're not releasing a lot of information, it seems like it's not fully closed. The use of B7E suggests law enforcement methods were still involved. That means the case may be under internal review. It could be, it was already under the DOJ, Department of Justice, pending additional international cooperation. I just believe that has not been fully closed, 100% closed on this case, and that's why it's still being heavily redacted by releasing some information due to public pressure, mainly this wrongful death lawsuit. So yes, it is possible the case is still being quietly reviewed. I've heard of cases with the FBI. It seems like the case went cold or dead, and then boom, shakalaka boom, someone has ended up getting arrested, and they like, oh, they thought they were got away with it. The next you know, they got the clean claims. So I mean, that's hopeful thinking and wishful thinking. But again, we're going to continue to make sure you sign the petition and share the petition. Even after our last video, we had new petition signatures, so keep sharing that, okay? So a few more codes as we go through here, and I don't expect you to remember every code. I'll try to remind you sometimes. B5 is when the government hides government opinions or strategy memos. When it's B6, it's hiding or redacting private personal details. When there's a B7C code, it's hiding identities in law enforcement records. And when there's a code B7E, it's hiding LPI techniques and procedures. These don't mean, again, that the case is closed. That it just means the government is not done or does not want to show its hand. It's not going to show everything. So I would say this. I wouldn't be too upset that it's heavily redacted. Heavily redacted could be a good sign that they're still working on things. Sometimes you have to look at the other side of the possibilities. But yeah, Shanquella Robinson deserves justice. This file proves the FBI got involved. It proves they collected names, watched videos, and passed it to prosecutors. But the most important pages are still blocked out. Okay, so hopefully we'll get the full pages later, and hopefully with that we'll get some justice. But let's go ahead and look at these documents and the case file. Okay, hold on. I just want to give y'all a little background before you start saying, hey, why is that? It's not me. Don't blame Danny Robertson for why these are redacted, okay? So it's 82 pages. I'm going to scroll through. I'm going to see what's available. So as you can see, it gives like page numbers right here. And it's telling you what's redacted on each page. And it gives these codes. Again, B6 is hiding private personal details. B7C is hides identities and law enforcement records. And you see the B7E is hiding the LPI techniques and procedures. So there's going to be some redactions on these pages. And as you can see, most of these pages are going to have redacted information. Let's go through here. So right here we have the Charlotte field office. We have walk-in regarding alleged homicide, and it doesn't have a name, and it says this happened November 15, 2022. And it says on November 9th, 2022, right here. It says on November 9th, 2022, and it's blacked out. Date of, and it says blacked out, came into FBI Charlotte division to provide information regarding the possible unaliving of blank. Shanquella Robinson, Shanquella in Cabo, Mexico on October 29, 2022. Blank provided the additional information below. Shanquella, date of birth, January 9th, 1997, went on a trip to Cabo, Mexico with 5 of her friends she knew from college. Blank could not recall the names of the friends, but has them written down. He indicated also called FBI Charlotte over the weekend and provided the names of these friends on October 30th, 2022. All their friends flew back from Cabo, Mexico to Charlotte, North Carolina, except for Shanquella. Blank learned that Shanquella passed away in Cabo Mexico in or around October 29, 2022. According to our travel companions from possible alcohol poisoning, Blank understood that Shanquella's friends contacted Mexican authorities in Cabo sometime the morning of October 29, 2022, to report the death of Shanquella. The friends told Mexican authorities that they had all drank heavily the night before, including Shanquella. And at one point, Shanquella was so intoxicated, they had to put her in the shower in an attempt to sober her up. All of the friends then flew back home to Charlotte, North Carolina the following morning. At some point last week, Blank received a call from Blank Mexican phone number. Then it says the medical examiner in Cabo, Mexico. It says Blank informed Blank the cause of death for Shanquella was not alcohol poisoning, but a broken neck. Blank also noted Shanquella had a broken collarbone. Blank understood there was an open investigation into this incident in Mexico, but wanted to make sure the FBI was also aware. Blank heard that at least one of the friends that traveled with Shanquella was still very upset and could not eat or sleep. Blank intended to speak with local media about this incident following this report to FBI Charlotte. Shanquella's remains were due to arrive in Charlotte on November 10, 2022. Blank was available for contact at phone number, and it's redacted. On November 15, 2022, Blank date of birth gave the date of birth, returned to the FBI Charlotte division to provide additional information regarding the reported unaliving of Shanquella Robinson on October 29, 2022, in Cabo, Mexico. FBI Charlotte passed this information along with the link of the reference video to LGAT Mexico and continues to coordinate with LGAT Mexico for the next investigative steps. Hold on one second. Okay, so let's continue on. On November 14, 2022, Blank date of birth Blank came to the FBI Charlotte division to provide additional information to SA regarding the alleged, no, it actually is, unaliving of Shanquella Robinson in Mexico on October 29, 2022. See related previous notes, information, and reference. And let's continue. And all of this is redacted. So again, a lot of this is redacted. And information regarding the death of Shanquella Robinson, referencing Sentinel Case 8. Walk-in information regarding alleged homicide. Document synopsis created on November 17, 2022. And it says protocol, and it says IP address, and it blanks the so November 15, 2022 at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Time. There's an internet IP address, and it said which resolves to blank submitted an online tip to the FBI National Threat Operations Center (NTOC) via tips.fbi.gov regarding And then it says it's redacted. It says date submitted November 15, 2022 at 7:47 p.m. Here's a transaction number. It says violation of other emergency false, threat to life false, submitted text. And then it's redacted right there. So it looks like people are also calling FBI tips. Another tip, information regarding the death of Shanquella. So people are calling in tips. And they're not really giving right here in these boxes. It should tell us what the tip was about, but it's redacted. They're redacting everything. The tipper and who's tipping, IP addresses of the tipper. I mean, I understand why, right? And the person gave, of course, victim information, Shanquella, location information for Shanquella. And that's the importance of anonymous tips, because some people are, they might not want to actually go directly to the police, but they feel like they can do an anonymous tip for their own safety and to prevent retaliation, etc. Then some people will actually do a tip, but they can do it anonymously or anon. And let's see, document a concurrence from Miami Division Violent Incident Crimes International. So to be honest, y'all, a lot of this is just redacted information. It's redacted. So let's see right here. It says synopsis, document concurrence from Miami Division Violent Incident Crimes International. Enclosures. Enclosed are the following items. Concurrence from Miami Division Violent Incident Crimes International email. On November 16, 2022, FBI Miami Division Violent Incident Crimes International Supervisory Special Agent Blank provided concurrence for reference 89J case to be opened out of FBI Charlotte Division. A copy of the email correspondence is attached to this document. I'm sure they're not going to show us the email. And it says and then it says, November 16, 2022. And it says subject for Facebook video. And then it goes down regarding Facebook video, and this is internal. Good morning. I received SAC concurrence from CE to go ahead and open on this case. Even though, as we discussed, normally this will be in our jurisdiction, it just makes sense since victims blank and potential subject are in your AOR. Miami's will stand by to assist in anything you guys need. Don't hesitate to reach out respectfully. So it looks like it went to Miami FBI, but then they were like, well, since the victim and other subjects are in North Carolina, it will be best to be obviously handled by FBI field office for Charlotte, North Carolina. So right here, let's see, November 15, 2022, regarding the Facebook video. So people are asking about the Facebook video, and so it looks like it was even being like the FBI had their hands on it, at least around this time, November 15th, around the time it was released or circulating. Hi, and it says blank, short summary. 25-year-old Black female went on a trip to Cabo, Mexico with 5 of her fake friends she knew from college on October 30th, 2022. All of her friends flew back from Cabo to Charlotte without the victim. The victims, blank, learned that, I'm sure his family, learned that Shanquella passed, was unalived around October 29, 2022. And her traveling companion said that she died of alcohol poisoning after a night of heavy drinking. A medical examiner contacted blank and told him that she died of a broken neck and not alcohol poisoning. Now we already know pretty much that it looks like they're blocking out or redacting Shanquella's father, Bernard. And then, and as you can see, it says told him. And it says, and not alcohol poisoning. It says, Blaine returned to FBI Charlotte today and gave a link to a video attached which shows Shanquella being beaten by her companions. All of her companions reside here in North Carolina. LGAT Mexico has already met with the authorities concerning the investigation and will provide further details when available. Just 1 second. So LGAT Mexico refers to the FBI's legal office in Mexico City. This office is part of the FBI's international operations, where special agents known as legal attaches or attaches, legates, or LEGATs. LEGATs work with foreign law enforcement and security agencies to coordinate investigations of mutual interest. The primary role of the LEGAT is to facilitate cooperation and information sharing between FBI and its Mexican counterparts. How interesting. That's who we actually need to get a hold of, because before we were contacting the FBI, which of course is the FBI, but this is actually the middle person, or should I say the middle entity between the primary role of the LEGAT, LEGAT, is to facilitate cooperation and information sharing between the FBI and its Mexican counterparts. Bingo. The FBI agent in charge of an international office. The FBI has had a LEGAT office in Mexico City since 1940, making it one of the Bureau's earliest international offices. The LEGAT in Mexico works with Mexican law enforcement and security agencies to coordinate investigations and information sharing related to criminal matters, including drug trafficking, organized crime, and other issues of mutual concern. LEGATs do not conduct foreign intelligence gathering or counterintelligence investigations. Their role is primarily one of coordination. Well, that sounds good to me. So I'm going to be looking more into that and see if there are actually any contact information or anything about that. Hold on. The contact information for the FBI's LEGAT office in Mexico gave us a number. Now I wonder if they have an email address. Well, I will look into that more, but I definitely, I will look into that more. Okay, so let's go back to the document. So I'm just curious really quickly about what is LEGAT they keep mentioning or referring to. And it says right here, it says Mexico has already met with the authorities concerning the investigation and will provide further details when available. And then it goes here. This one is completely redacted, and it's the subject of the Facebook video, and it's completely redacted. But it is from the FBI Charlotte Division office, and then it says follow on Twitter. So that's from FBI Charlotte. They blacked out who it was from, and who sent it, and the context. And then let's see, title database checks on victim and involved individual, and it's all redacted. Walk-in information regarding alleged homicide. And in synopsis, database checks on victim and involved individual. Enclosed are the following items: documentation of database checks. And it says right here, database checks on victim and involved individuals, says details. Social media posts and initial reporting suggest the following. Individuals travel to Mexico with victim Shanquella Robinson. A summation of baseline checks for each individual is included below. Preservation of social media accounts is noted, but does not represent an exhaustive social media query. Documentation of database checks is attached as A1. So they did do like a preservation of the social media accounts that they found, but they said that it's possibly more social media accounts belonging to the travel companions, but they only like how they're preserving the ones that they did find. Now, here's the thing. By the time they got around to preserving these social media accounts, the Cabo, they already had the travel companions had a significant amount of time to delete information or hide information or to erase information. They did because she was on a live October 29, 2022, and by the time they got around to preserving these social media accounts, they had plenty of time to delete stuff. I'm just saying. Okay. Database checks on victim and involved individual. Okay, this is all redacted. And of course, I have a picture of Shanquella. And of course, her information is redacted. So, anyways, I think they're going over Shanquella's some information from like Shanquella. I think most people are concerned about not Shanquella herself. Obviously, it's the actual perpetrators. But yeah, so you can check this out yourself if you're interested. But I'm pretty much skipping over this portion as it's unrelated. And again, just a bunch of codes showing a bunch of stuff is redacted. Okay, what's this right here? Okay, I'm going to skip over that. That's just going over Shanquella's information. Like they're actually look up. They did like a background on Shanquella, like of her history of stuff. So I'm gonna skip that portion. And again, I put the whole document via the petition. It's just that some things are unrelated to what I'm discussing, so I'm skipping. And it says accidents noted on this document shall not be considered determinative of fault or negligence on the part of the individual. Certify a true copy of the driver's license record of the person named herein as appears on the automated system of DMV. So they did a whole even driver's license record check on her as well. Yeah, I want to see it on the perpetrators, not Shanquella, okay? And then they did a preservation of social media accounts of involved parties. And the synopsis right here. What date is this? November 22nd, 2022. Initial reporting suggests the following individuals traveled to Mexico with victim Shanquella Robinson. Social media accounts associated to the individuals were preserved and are noted below. In a few instances, social media accounts that shared the account name with the individuals but were not confirmed to the individuals were preserved out of an abundance of caution. The following social media accounts associated to blank, and it says date of birth were preserved. The following social media accounts associated to blank date of birth were preserved. Mainly all the travel companions, the social media accounts they found of these people, the ones they actually found were preserved as is, like stayed as in their actual state at the moment of preservation. But like I said, she was on a live October 29th, 2022, and they didn't get around to doing this, it looks like, until mid-November. So that's plenty of time for them to have erased. They had a good 2 weeks to erase the information or, Twitter. So it was actually Mexico should have had done this or already initiated or started certain things to preserve the social media and preserve everything, to be honest. By the time FBI got involved, a lot of things could have been deleted. Let's just be honest here. And it says Twitter account associated to blank was preserved, Twitter case number, and it says possible not confirmed Facebook, and it says preserved made a case number. So some things were preserved once they got around to it. And it says blank possible not confirmed Instagram preserved, and then it goes to the next person. Dropbox. It says Dropbox account associated to blank, Twitter account associated, Instagram. For some couple travel companions, they got more information, like more preserved accounts than the others. So Twitter, Facebook, Dropbox, IG. And since they're not giving us the names, we don't know who is who. But the gist of it is that IG, Facebook, Twitter, and even Dropbox were, preserved for some people. The following social media accounts associated to victim Shanquella were preserved as well. And it says they preserved her Dropbox, Twitter, her Facebook, and IG. They gave each handle, and they preserved each of those. Now, what would be interesting is that a lot of times people have iPhones, and then what can be saved from the actual cloud if people didn't go into. Some people might delete stuff from their phone. Some people don't even realize that some things go to the cloud. It depends on how they have their phone set up. In addition, a Twitter user blank, and it says blank regarding the case was preserved on November 16, 2022, preservation reference number. So most likely something on Twitter was preserved based on something they felt was useful for the case, and that was a Twitter user was preserved. It could be involving a video or something. I don't know what it could be involving. And now it's the November, because the video was dropped before then. November 22nd, 2022. It says on November 21st, 2022, blank, date of birth, blank, phone number, address, blank, an email account, came to the FBI Charlotte field office located at 7915 Microsoft Way, Charlotte, North Carolina, to provide information regarding the alleged unaliving of Shanquella Robinson in Mexico in late October 2022. Present during the interview were special agent, so SA special agent, blank, FBI Special Operations Specialist, blank, and FBI Victim Services Specialist, blank, author being advised of the identities of the interviewing agent, blank, provided the following information. And there's the information, but we can't see it. It's blank. Investigation on November 21st, 2022, and that's at the Charlotte, North Carolina, United States. And that's in person. So, again, another picture of Shanquella. On November 22nd, 2022, Let's see. Date of birth blank, phone number blank. Voluntarily provided special agent blank with a black iPhone that belonged to the victim, Shanquella Robinson. And it's blank. So let's go ahead and skip down now. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, consent to search. And it says right here, I have been asked by special agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigations to permit a complete search of iPhone black belonged to Shanquella Robinson, and they gave the passcode. I have been advised of my right to refuse consent. I give this permission voluntarily. I authorize these agents to take any items which they determine, and then it's, to be honest, it's obstructed. I can't see, but it looks like it says determined to be, I guess, useful in their investigation. So I can see determined, and then I can see their investigation. So that's what I would get from it. And it says United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, receipt for property. And it says receipt from, and then right here, iPhone black belonged to Shanquella Robinson. So we're already on page 55 of 82, and as you can see, a lot of this is heavily redacted. Shout out to Aquarius Moon. I don't know if you're joining from this channel membership or if you're joining from, wait, it will be this channel membership. I thought I was screaming from my other channel too, my bad. But yeah, shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining my backup channel membership. Yes, I appreciate the support. Again, shout out to you for joining my backup channel membership. I appreciate the support. And also shout out to my Live More as well. Thank you so much for joining the channel membership. I appreciate the support. And everybody else, remember, support my channel for free just by what? Hitting that like button. And for those watching me on Twitter, please come over to my main channel. Well, not my main channel, my backup channel, Truth Teller Danny. Again, that's Truth Teller Danny. And hit that like button and subscribe over there, over here as well. Now, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Electronic Communication, November 23rd, 2022. It says title to documents efforts to obtain investigative records from Baja, California. Sir, and again, this is not California, United States. This is Mexico, okay? And it says, that's why it says Mexico. San Juan, it says from San Juan, approved by, and then it goes right here. Special agent, it says drafted by, walk-in information regarding alleged homicide, synopsis. To document efforts to obtain investigative records from local authorities in Baja, California, Mexico, from Tijuana, ALAT. It gives the reference number, and it says enclosed are the following items. And it says details. On November 16, 2022, Special Agent blank, and it says ALAT, Tijuana, Mexico, authored a letterhead memorandum of officio required by Procuradurio. I'm sure I'm butchering that word. Procuradurio. I don't know. Procuradurio is in Spanish, okay? General de Justicia de Estado, Baja California, State Attorney General. And it says, in order to obtain any local government records associated with the death investigation of Shanquella Robinson, the officio requested the complete police report, medical examiner's report to include x-rays. Now, keep in mind that they are back and forth in communication with Mexico. So, of course, there's going to be some, Mexican terminology and words and verbiages and cities and things like that. Okay. On November 17, 2022, Special Agent blank emailed the officio to the Baja, California Attorney General, that's the PGJE, Daniel De La Rosa. And it says blank as well as state prosecutor. Now, I'm sure everyone remembers Daniel De La Rosa, and that's who I need to get in contact with, to be honest. And he's hard to get in contact with unless you're certain people. Okay. Title to document efforts to obtain investigative records from Baja California, Mexico, and says on November 18, 2022, Special Agent Blank met in person with Baja California's third state prosecutor, Blank, to inquire, among other items, when the FBI would be able to receive the required documentations. Alvarez advised that once the official was received, correction was reviewed by AG Daniel De La Rosa, he would authorize the release of any documentation. Special Agent Blank advised that he had not received any response from Attorney General Daniel De La Rosa. And it says Blank advised that she would not be directly involved with this case, but that she would follow up with his office to check on the status. So they wanted to check when the FBI would be able to receive the required documentation. Alvarez advised that once the officio was reviewed by Daniel De La Rosa, he would authorize the release of any documentations. So Special Agent advised that he had not received any response from Daniel De La Rosa, not surprised. Blank advised that she would not be directly involved with this case, but that she will follow up with his office to check on the status. On November 19, 2022, Special Agent Blank received a phone call from Blank and email says agent from State Prosecutor's Office in Baja California Sur, requesting that an interview with Shanquella Robinson's parents be conducted to verify the relationship between Robinson and the subjects that traveled to San Jose del Cabo with her. Blank advised that they needed an interview to be included in their investigation, as their office was seeking to obtain a temporary detention order for at least one of the subjects involved. He advised that he had information which may lead their office to seek potential charges in relation to the death of Robinson. And that was November 19, 2022. Special Agent Blank advised that he would need to communicate his request to the case agent at the FBI Charlotte field office for review. Special Agent Blank respectfully requested Blank to send any police reports, autopsy, toxicology reports in order to provide to the case agent in FBI Charlotte field office. Blank advised that he would review the request with his superiors and advise later. On November 19, 2022, Special Agent Blank communicated via phone with Blank to advise of the information learned from Blank, and once again requested her assistance to expedite receipt of the requested documents. Blank advised that she would follow up on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. On November 22, 2022, Special Agent Blank followed up with the Attorney General in Baja California Sur as to the requested documents, however, did not receive a response. Special Agent Blank followed up with Blank via phone, and she advised she did not have any new information. Special Agent Blank followed up with Blank via phone, who advised that the request for the information still needed to be consulted with his superior. As of this electronic communication, Special Agent Blank started to make arrangements to travel by air to the area of San Jose del Cabo and La Paz and Baja California Sur to continue efforts to obtain the requested information and to further assist the FBI Charlotte field office, which is FO, and Mexican authorities in Baja California Sur. Now, here's the thing. That's the issue I was having with Daniel De La Rosa, and I'm thinking it's because I'm just an everyday citizen, but it looks like even the FBI special agent was having trouble getting a hold of Daniel De La Rosa, getting a runaround, to where the special agent, I don't know if it's male or female, felt like they had to take flight or go over there to actually in person to get any information. They were getting a runaround. So don't have no fear, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like, it's not just us. Even the FBI looks like it's got to run around with Mexico at that time, right? And it says Special Agent Blank attached a copy of the officio to the caption case via digital, and it says 1A. Federal Bureau Investigation Import Form. And November 29, 2022, title, and it gives the NTOC 2022, U.S. citizen in danger abroad with suspicious death in Mexico. It says walk-in information regarding alleged homicide. Document synopsis created on November 29, 2022, 3:50 p.m. The current assessment data on November 7, 2022 at 11:12 a.m. Eastern Time. Blank. Date of birth, cellular telephone number, blank, residential address, blank, called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report U.S. citizen in danger abroad with suspicious death in Cabo, Mexico. Blank provided the following information. Shanquella Robinson, date of birth is blank right there. Is the last week of October 2022. Shanquella and a group of friends, including blank date of birth, and it gives the names of people and date of birth, went to Cabo, Mexico to celebrate one of their birthdays. They stayed at an Airbnb. So they gave names and date of birth of different people in the Cabo 6, right? On October 29, 2022, there was an altercation and Shanquella died. Blank is not sure exactly what happened. Shanquella's cause of death is listed as a broken neck and collarbone. Shanquella's friend said she was drinking and hit her head on the toilet. So right here, this person was a witness or a person that's given a tip. And they said that Shanquella's friends told them, I guess, that she was drinking and hit her head on a toilet. So the story just keeps on changing. It says blank contacted a local law enforcement in Mexico and spoke to blank telephone number blank. Blank believes there were 2 cameras in the house, and blank is attempted to obtain the footage. Blank saw pictures of Shanquella's body and said there are bruises on her and she looks like she was stomped on. And then right here enclosed are the following items: email from ALAT Mexico, email from with guest register for Airbnb, videos provided by blank on November 16, 2022, and results attached, contents of submission. So then it's redacted. And the infamous list, we've already seen this. They redacted this. We know Shanquella's name on there. We already know everybody else's name. We already know the Cabo 6. So they added the guest register list, and we already know. We've seen that a million times by now. U.S. citizen in danger abroad with suspicious death in Mexico. And it says on November 7, 2022, I think this is a repeat. A cellular telephone number called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report U.S. citizen in danger abroad with suspicious death in Cabo, Mexico. Let's see. November 29, 2022. Document synopsis created on November 29, 2022, 3:51 p.m. Current assessment data on November 21st, 2022 at 12:48 p.m. Eastern Time. Blank date of birth, blank cellular telephone number, blank residential address, blank called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report this cell number, Instagram user. It gives cellular phone number, Instagram username, gives the number, gives the Instagram username, and as well as many others. And it says no on November 21st, 2022 at 3 p.m. Eastern time, telephonically, blank telephonically contacted the CR field office and spoke with blank regarding incoming, and it says blank. It's all of this is redacted. We're currently on page 70 of 82. Okay, incident summary. It says status and it says closed on right there though. But if this is closed on and it gives a date, all right, is there a date there or is it filled in? It's not showing anything. On November 21st, 2022, and again, this could be just for a single report, not that. By the way, when I say that, it could be just the report they're talking about, a specific case, not the whole Shanquella case closed. I'm saying that the incident that we're reading right now, this current report. It says on November 21st, 2022 at 12:48 p.m. Eastern time, blank date of birth, blank cellular telephone number, blank residential address, blank called the FBI National Threat Operations Center. It gives their phone number as well as many others, and they reported a phone number and addresses. So anyways, it's redacted as well. Residential address blank, called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report. It doesn't say what was reported, and it gives their cellular phone number, redacted, and it says blank as well as many others. On November 21st, 2022 at 3 p.m. Eastern time, blank telephonically contacted this, I guess, the Charlotte field office and spoke with blank regarding incoming. It's redacted. And if you look to the far right, again, those are those codes I told you all about. B6 on that code means it's hiding private personal details. B7C is when it's hiding like identities and law enforcement records. And B78 is when they're hiding FBI like techniques and procedures. So that's why it's going to be blank, but it'll tell you why it's redacted to the far right. So if you look to the far right here, you'll see some of these codes right here. Right here. Federal Bureau of Investigation, import form. Walk-in blank information regarding alleged homicide. Federal Bureau of Investigation right here. November 30th, 2022. All of this is redacted, like I told you. That's why I gave you a heads up. Like, hey, okay, what's this? Examiner says special agents. Of course, these are FBI agents. They're not going to give like, oh, here's the name of this agent or that agent. It's going to say special agent redacted. Location, Greensboro. And it says consent to legal authority, consent to search. Legal authority reviewed on November 30th, 2022. It says evidence item, manufacturer, Apple model, serial, iPhone. Power status, it was powered on when received. Physical examination notes, see attached images. Destination, manufacturer, Samsung. And information. Hold on. On November 30th, 2022, Special Agent Blank was asked by Special Agent Blank to obtain a blank download of the reference item in support of the caption case. Special Agent Blank took the following actions with the device. Special Agent Blank received the phone from Special Agent Blank with the provided password and then gave the password, which was written on the consent to search form. So earlier on, I showed you that Shanquella's phone was given over to the FBI, and it was, signed off with a consent to search. So another special agent received this phone, and they even got the password. Now, they redacted the password here, but earlier on, they actually showed the document, and it actually showed the password. So it was written on the consent to search form signed by Blank. Special Agent Blank navigated to the phone's display settings. Navigated to the phone's display settings. And then let's see. Day drafted was December 1st, 2022. Now I'm showing a lot of things from November 2022 and December 2022. And what I'm looking for is what happened after November and December 2022. Okay. Display settings and confirmed the phone's lock screen was already set to never sleep. Special Agent Blank connected the phone to an examination computer using the Blank cable. A full file system extraction was obtained using Blank. The phone was disconnected and returned to Special Agent Blank on the same date. The extraction was transferred to the Samsung destination drive and provided to Special Agent Blank for further processing and review. Additional images were electronically attached to this report. So they took images from Shanquella's phone, the phone that was turned in, and extracted the data from it and took images and stuff from it. And it's redacted right here. And it says consent to search computers. Blank have been asked by special agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigations to permit a complete search by the FBI or its designees of any and all computers and electronic and I can't really see optical data storage and our retrieval system, or it's blurry, y'all. And any related computer something described below. I guess peripherals, I can't see. Storage or retrieved media computer. And it says right here was located at FBI Greensboro. And this is redacted. I authorize these agents to take any evidence discovered during this search together with the. So pretty much it looks like it's in there. You authorize consent the FBI to search computers and the electronic devices. Federal Bureau of Investigation deleted page information sheet. So that looks like it's going to be it. This is the last page. Event title: Original disc of Blank, interviewed by Special Agent Blank and SOS, approved by, drafted by, walk-in. Everything is just redacted. Information regarding alleged homicide. Details: original disc of Blank, interview by Special Agent, again repetitive. Original disc of Blank, interview by Special Agent. Evidence type: interview, non-custodial, overt. Media type: CD, DVD, Blu-ray. Original type: original on FBI collected system. Surveillance start November 30th. Surveillance end November 30th. This document contains neither recommendations nor conclusions of the FBI. It is the property of the FBI and is loaned to your agency. It and its contents are not to be distributed outside your agency. So that is the documents that were last released. Again, there were other documents I went over already previously from the FBI files. So with that being said, we will see what's gonna happen next. If you skip my last video, make sure you watch my last video where I go over Dejanay Jackson claiming that it was self-defense. So check out that video, and then this is part 2 of that. And with that, make sure you sign the actual petition for Shanquella Robinson, and be looking forward to an email I'm going to send you on Thursday, and that email will give you next steps and next instructions of what we're going to do, which is I'm going to try to have some new contact emails and information as far as Daniel De La Rosa and Mexico about extradition. What's concerning to me is what the FBI released. A special agent tried to get a hold of Daniel De La Rosa a lot early on, and he was not really responding or getting back. And that was concerning to where the special agent, it looks like, felt like they had to possibly take a flight just to get in touch with someone. And we all know how that goes when you get a run around via email and phone, and you're like, dang, I might have to go in person because I'm not getting anywhere on the phone. Okay. So I'm actually curious if they're going to actually release more information from the FBI and not just this information. And also what's happening with the actual investigation. I don't think it's 100% closed based on everything being so heavily redacted and little information released. Also, what's another concern is that a lot of the stuff they've released so far is like only from like 2022. Shanquella was on the law October 29, 2022, and some of this stuff is only from November and December 2022. And we know that they had an ongoing investigation allegedly way past 2022. So where are the FBI records for that time period? It's like they just released something to kind of, like, hey, we're releasing, but what are you releasing? Because what did we actually get that we don't know publicly? Everything that has been said here, we publicly already know. But with that being said, hit that like button on your way out, and I will see you in the next video. And like I said, look forward to your next email, and I need everybody to participate. Just like you can tweet and text and send group messages, you can. It doesn't take but a minute to send an email. So once you get that in your inbox, your notification. And by the way, someone said they don't get notifications. If you don't get change.org notifications, it's because you have change.org blocked. You have them blocked, or you have turned off notifications for change.org. If you turn off notifications for any reason for change.org, let's say you turn it off because of a previous campaign or a previous petition, you didn't want no change.org. You said you don't want notifications. Well, guess what? You're not going to get my notifications. So don't blame me if you don't get the notifications off of signing it. You need to actually make sure that you gave change.org permission to notify you, because the email is not coming from Danny Robertson. The email is going to come from, guess who? Change.org, because I use their system. This is how I go. I make a post on their website. I don't got your email. I make a post on their website, and then when I make a post, they share my post to you via email. They're the middleman. So if you block change.org or you turn off notifications from change.org, you're not going to get anything from me. So when I say I'm sending an email, it's not from me. It's from, I'm sending it through change.org. So that's the clarification. Anyways, I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next live. Bye.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Don't ask me why. I gotta go. I should've left a long time ago. I don't even isn't how it's supposed to be. This isn't how my life's supposed to be. It's not how I imagined it would be.